Okay, so this is my game. This is round 7 at my 6th game. And she's, like 2,100. I don't know. Never heard of her. She's probably like 12. I played my usual bad line in the Sicilian. I've had this on stream many times. Now, I'm probably going to have to change up my opening repertoire to either not play this anymore or in this position, like learn like a ton of theory and play something that's playable. I know that a lot of people castle here and then they get checkmated. And I don't want to get checkmated. Because you just like checkmate the guy. I don't know. Castling just gets checkmated. Sack a piece. But I think castles is the most common move. Anyway, there's a move that I made up here that I've played many times with good results. And the engine goes boo, boo. And then I turn the volume down that you guys say you can't hear me. But then I don't hear the boos as much. Right? Yeah. Etc. You were saying boo earns? Okay. So you can play castles, knight d7's a move, a5's a move, queen a5's a move. But I play bishop b7. It's my move. The engine says it's terrible. So I don't know. My results with it are okay. Okay, and I've played this actually in blitz chess many times on the stream. And I've had this position on the stream since this game happened last week in Foxwoods. I've had this position. I was getting crushed too. B6 X-Clam. Me and Tony Miles were like that, son. I've won, lost, and drawn against Tony Miles. Yeah. One time I got hit in the head at a tournament, and then Miles came and said, "Are you okay?" And I said,
I don't know.
I can see 4 miles and miles.
Hey,
I was getting dizzy.
That reminded me, weren't you trying to get a game of yours from somebody?
Yeah.
Whatever happened with that?
They were going to try to get it into ChessSpace. So like ChessSpace Mega Database 2022 might have it, but I doubt it. If they could find it. Yeah, whenever I played Miles, I got a frosty reception. It's a complicated joke. Think about it for a long time.
I don't know.
Robert Frost for Miles. Walked for Miles. No? Yeah. It's been Miles. Doesn't Frost have a thing that's been Miles? Miles has something to do with it.
Oh, miles to go before I sleep.
Isn't that Frost?
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew there was a joke in there somewhere.
That's ridiculous.
What do you mean?
Nobody's going to make that leap.
I did.
All right.
How about I would walk 500 miles?
Thank you. It was a stretch. Now, come on. Nobody's going
No, Robert Frost. Yeah. What's the purpose of bishop b7? It develops my bishop. So that's good. And it defends my center. So I can try to play c5, d4, or defend d5. No sacrifices. And it doesn't castle and get my king mated. Okay, thanks for watching. Time for a nap. Okay, so my opponent played king b1. I've never faced king b1. My opponent must be a fan of me. Usually they play queen g3 and I play king f8. I've had that many times. So I thought a long time because I don't know the move king b1. Always king b1. Sleep, that's where you're a Viking. That sounds like something Ralph Wiggum would say. Is that right, Grunge War? Is that a Ralph Wiggum quote? I think so. Okay, so I played knight d7. So I want to play e5 and d4. My bishop's good. Knight controls all these squares. And then she played queen g3. So I played king f8, defending my pawn. So I look pretty passive. So basically, I've given everything away to get this monster center here. Look at that great center. Otherwise, my king, all my pieces are no good and passive. But I got this nice pawn on d5. Okay, So she played h4, putting it in h. And I didn't know what to do here. I still don't know what to do. What did I do? Also, this game reminds me of the game I won against Sergey Kudrin in the U.S. Championship around 2006. I could be a year off. It could be 5 or 7. It wasn't 7. It was 4, 5, or 6 in San Diego. The very similar game. If you guys want to put the link to that game, it won't let you, but you know. Okay, so I played Bishop F6. Seems pretty good. Thanks, Slow 3635. Is that like Slow Mobius? Thanks, DS Panda. Because of your two things that you did, a train is close. Also, I got inoculated yesterday here. Ow. I got my 4th COVID shot. Go COVID. And then I saw my doctor on Tuesday. I got my COVID shot Thursday. I'm having procedures next Tuesday. Then it's the adults only tournament. Thanks, Grungewort, for starting the train. Go, Grungewort. Oh, Kangaroo found the game. Yeah, very similar to this structure and what happened. Although Kudrin's better than Jasmine Sue. Yeah. Yeah, Jasmine said, what do you think of my position? I went, blech. No?
I'm sorry, hang on.
Yeah.
You too.
I made a Jasmine Bleeth joke.
Well, okay.
I said, blech.
Jasmine, I can barely. Who is that even?
Who? I don't know.
Jasmine Bleeth?
I don't know.
Bleeth?
I can blaspheme against Christ. You can blaspheme.
Maybe Yasmin.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yasmin Bleeth.
Well, then the joke's complicated.
Yeah, Yasmin.
Anyway, 1,000 miles, I could walk.
I'd be a Cosby kid.
Right, yeah, that makes sense.
Cosby kid.
Yeah.
Hillman. Oh, no, Hillman College. But that was a Cosby. Yeah, that was a Cosby spinoff. So I'm kind of right.
Is she the one who married what's his name? Who married what's his name? I'll tell you his name. Give me a second. I wanna get away. I wanna fly away. Yeah. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. Chris Christopherson? No. Lenny Kravitz.
Yeah, that's right.
Didn't she marry Lenny Kravitz?
That was Lisa Bonet.
That's the same thing.
No.
You telling me Lisa Bonet and Yasmin Bleeth are different people?
Way different.
Wow. I always thought it was the same person. Oh, by the way, I want to point something out. Remember the woman who's chunky on the sports show, Sarah Spain?
Yes.
Okay. Pay attention. I do this all the time. I do this all the time. And then she said, does anybody else do this? And then I was like, wait, that's what I do. And then people were like, yeah, I do that too. Like, I thought it was just me, so I never said anything because embarrassing. The Denver Nuggets, okay, the basketball team, and the Utah Jazz, okay, that's the same team to me.
Okay.
Now, I know they're two different teams, but whenever I hear one, I think of like the other players. And then she said she does that too. And everybody's like, I do that too. There's something about those two teams. Their colors are the same, or they're both in the, yeah. And they're always underperforming in the playoffs, and they're always overperforming in the regular season. They're like the same team.
That's funny, Blue Note.
Yeah, so the Denver Nuggets and Utah Jazz, I'm not the only person in the world who thinks they're the same team. Like Yasmin Bleeth and Lisa Bonet. And Karl Malone, that's right. I used to the Jazz and Nuggets so confused too. That's right. The Denver Jazz. Yeah. I'm glad I'm not the only one who thought this. Yeah, me too. I'm like, wait, which one's which? Which one do I like? Because I like that guy who's tall and big and scores 40 points a game. I like that guy. He plays for the Denver Nuggets. His name is Nikola Jokic. Yeah. Yeah, he's good. He gets like 15 rebounds and 40 points a game and 10 assists. And he's big. And he goes, boom. Like when he walks, he goes, boom, because he's really big. He's like overweight. He used to be more overweight than he couldn't move at all. He lost a lot of weight and now he's still overweight. But he's like Shaq. Like Shaq was always overweight, but not really. Now Shaq is like 800 pounds overweight. Here's a fun fact for you guys about Shaq. If you watch any commercial Shaq does where he's like icy hot or some other crap, and they show him with his shirt off, that ain't him. When his shirt's on, that's him. When the shirt's off, it's some model he hired because it's his muscle, and there's not the Shaq flab. Where'd it go? Where's the Shaq flab?
How old is Shaq?
50.
Yeah.
Shaq's about 50. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not Shankland. No, Shaq. Come on, the hype train's dying at level 1. Boo, boo. Come on, yell at him.
About the train?
Yeah, look, it's 30 seconds left. We only got nothing's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shaq's 50. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not as into the trains, but
Yay, thanks, Donkel and Dankel.
yay, we kept it
600 centijuice, you did it. You said that you would do it.
going. Have you heard of the Pebis Gambit?
It's got to be a joke.
Yeah, I know, but Pebis maybe means penis.
You mean he typoed a joke? Damn.
Maybe penis wouldn't get through the filters.
It's his first one too.
It's like we're detectives. Just
You
decoding.
mean it's
the
like
chat.
we're private dicks. Yay, go Hawks! Hawks by 7. Yeah.
You're so proud of yourself.
I think Mama Drop could take Shaq in a fight.
That was pretty good.
No.
That just lined up.
Mama Jarov couldn't even beat Shaq at chess. Damn.
He did nail it. He did nail it. That was.
Yeah. Oh man, so listen to this. I'll try to find it for you at some point. On Family Guy,
Yeah.
they actually become private detectives like Brian and the baby and the dog. And they make 50 jokes like that in a row. Like the joke I just made.
Yeah.
They're like, well, if we're, oh no, it wasn't even them. That was another episode. It was one where the guys did it. And they're like, well, if we're private dicks, we want people to know about us. So we have to, and they went on and made like, it never ended. Never ending jokes. It's like, we don't want them to think they're kids. They got to know that we're hairy. We're big hairy dicks. And then the guy said, yeah. And we have to have this so that they know that we're not trying to do this. We don't want to think that we're after their kids. We got to show that we're adults. So big hairy dicks. Then they went on and on and on. It was hilarious. Yeah. Yeah, that you would have liked that Family Guy scene. It lasted a long time because, the dicks lasted a long time, that joke. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, now that's right. And now it's time to show my game with the 12-year-old girl after all that discussion.
God.
Yeah.
But hopefully she's not on here.
I have no idea how old she is, but she's not very old. That's for sure.
No.
Okay. So I'm worse because that's the opening that I play, but it gives them a lot of choice. Now here, she made the move of a child, a very strong child. She played E5, Bishop D6 check, and I think she played E5 next. Yeah. Now that releases the tension on the center. So what would Kaidanov say about that? He would say, maintain tension. Okay. So Kaidanov wouldn't like the move E5. Yeah, the engine doesn't like it either. But, kids got to do something. So here. I mean, I was really cutting into the video game time. So she was like, I got to get this game over with. Okay, so I retreated, and then we traded. And she played F4. So still I'm worse because the opening that I play, I'm always worse. But I still have that nice center. That's right, your rectum. on Futurama, Fry made a Uranus joke, and then the professor's like, no. We changed the name of that planet like hundreds of years ago to stop that joke. And he says, what's it called now? Your rectum. Yeah.
Hey, Laszlo, how's it going?
Yay. Tension maintained. The second best instructor at Wish Chess. Was I the best? What?
Hey, Spencer, are you going to karaoke?
Oh, they said she's 12. She could be 11. She's born in 2010.
He said no.
Yeah, she was pretty.
She's
she was
12.
short.
Oh, you were close then.
Yeah, I said 12, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not sweaty. It's shweddy. Shweddy. Come on, hype train. You guys with the hype train. Look what you're doing. Nothing. Terrible.
Sweaty.
The SNL skit. The sweaty chocolate balls. All right. And they said I was crazy. Okay, so now I played h5 after very long thought. Very long thought. And what's funny is my opponent thought a long time here, and we're going to get Karen in on it. Thanks, Abe Froman, for the 200 centidues. We need 3 subs in the next 20 seconds. Who's going to hook us up? Do it. Somebody donate 3 subs to get to level 3. Then donate 4 subs for level 4, and so on. And you get the idea. 10 seconds. No. Thanks, Gorman Floff. 2 more subs. Can we do it in the next 5 seconds? The answer is fries. Aw. But thanks for the sub, Gorman. Now, here's what you're going to do. Mm-hmm. You're going to do it.
All right.
It's White's move.
Okay.
And she thought a long time, then she made a move. You have to guess what move she played. And you're going to do it based on like what you think are reasonable moves. White to move.
I'm not going to get this.
You just suggest reasonable moves.
I can come up with some different moves.
Just suggest reasonable moves for White.
No, that's not reasonable.
Or I'll make it easier because you're having a tough time. Mm-hmm. Okay. Did she move a pawn, queen, bishop, rook, knight, or king? That's the only thing she can move is one of those.
Maybe the queens.
Queen? No.
Rook?
No.
I don't. Just go ahead and tell me.
King.
Okay.
Where'd she move her king? I'll give you 2 guesses.
A1?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a move I never. Thanks, Justin Conclusive, for the subs. There's a move I never thought of.
King A1?
Mm-hmm. And she thought a long time and then played that. And I was like, what? What? Yeah, the engine doesn't like it. Too slow.
Did you figure out what she...
No, we didn't talk after the game.
Okay. Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah, and she was like, why do you keep calling me Jasmine? And I said, aren't you Lisa Bonet? And she said, those are different people.
Mm-hmm. Hey, tried for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, King A1. What? Okay. I played Rook H6. Now, it looks like I castled and my Rook got to H6 somehow. Well, it doesn't really look like that. And this is looking more and more like my game with Kudrin. Because Kudrin played Bishop D6, E5, and I played H5, Rook H6. Yeah. The game that you put the link to, Kangaroo? Yeah. Was she Chinese? Her last name is SU, so whatever that is, I don't know. I mean, we didn't speak. You know, I mean, we played and that was it. Yeah.
Now, Ben loves that light squared bishop.
Karen loves playing King F8, H5, Rook H6. That's what you do. No. I'm the only one who likes doing this. The engine says I'm terrible and I should be ashamed of myself. So when I played Rook H6, in my head I was going la 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 la, right? Mm-hmm. That's what I do. And then I was like, oh, what do I do on Queen G5? And I didn't know what I would do against Queen G5. And then she played Queen G5. Oh, yeah. It was like she's reading my mind. Now, Gordon Lightfoot said, if you could read my mind, Jasmine Sue, what a queen move you would play. What's worse, my singing or Gordon Lightfoot's? Okay. Now, if I take queen, queen takes queen, mm-hmm. Then she takes, attacking my rook, because I just played Rook H6, and my pawn.
Right.
If it's her move, obviously my queen's hanging. But if I save my queen, she can just take this. Her queen's defending it. And then if I take her queen, she takes with the H pawn, and her rook's defending it. Mm-hmm. So I only have one move that doesn't lose a pawn. Let's see if you could find it. Hi, viewers. NordVPN.
Man, F6?
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, I played F6. She took. I took with the knight. Mm-hmm. And she played Bishop F3, which I don't understand that move. That's not very, Now, the one good thing about Bishop F3 is she's opening the E file for her rook. but it's a little slow. Okay, I played queen f7 because my knight's pinned, and now I'm defending this more. And when the rook comes here, it's not pinning my pawn and my queen. So queen f7 is good. Rook e1 is a little slow, not too good. Probably she should play knight a4 and try to come to c5. Now that my queen has escaped, defending c5. I played rook f8. See, now it looks like I castled, and then somehow my rook, got over here. Yay. Now my position almost looks normal. Okay, she played f5. F5 is either a really good move or a really bad move because it changes the nature of the position. And this is what Kaidanov told me I did wrong all the time in the early 90s. And here it's just bad because my e6 pawn is weak and her f4 pawn isn't very weak. She can always defend her f4 pawn with g3 if necessary. Mm-hmm. But my e6 pawn is weak. So she's just getting rid of my weak pawn. So f5 is just a bad move. Now the engine says white's not even better. So we traded. Okay, now here's a move that I think isn't obvious to the gawking rabble, but it's obvious to me.
Okay.
To me, if I was playing like a 1 minute game or a 5 minute game, this is the move I would play. And it turned out I played it in the game too. But I think like, if you're a low rated player, this move's that's not very obvious. Atlanta's killing it by 11. That's not enough. They got to bring back Dominique Wilkins from the booth. Dominique Wilkins is so famous, Karen's heard of him. Mm-hmm. She's also heard of Spud Webb.
Yeah.
And that's it. Go Karen.
Moses Malone.
You lived in Philly. I wonder, when did you live in Philly? What years?
He was Moses Malone was on the Hawks.
Oh, that's true, but he would play for Philly when they were good in the 80s. Did you live there in the 80s or 90s?
90s.
In Philly? Oh. No, he played in the early to mid 80s in Philly. Oh, he must have played later in his career.
He was on the Hawks.
Yeah.
Because that's where I know him from.
Yeah, for the 82, 83 76ers. Now that was a team. Can you name the starting five?
No.
Oh.
I can barely
Not
name
only,
you.
but let me see how good they were. I'm going to tell you how good they were.
All right.
Not only have you heard of Moses Malone, I guarantee you heard of another one of their players. I guarantee it. That's how famous he is.
What year was it?
82, 83. I mean, I guarantee you've heard of him. There's a 0% chance you haven't heard of him. That's how famous
Well, go
he
ahead
is.
and just tell me.
Dr. J.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I have heard.
Julius Irving. Yeah. It turns out he wasn't even a doctor. Oh, yeah, Moses Malone played great jazz on the piano. Stockton obviously was great too. Yeah, Malone, Jude Green, you're thinking of the other Malone. That's Karl Malone. Kharl, Karl Malone.
All right, well, let's do the chess.
And that's like two jokes.
Because I have to.
All right, so what do you play here?
I don't like sports.
Sports.
What do I play here? That didn't seem to do anything. I don't know. You could either go d4, bishop c8.
Bishop c8, yeah.
Attack some stuff.
Yeah, you don't want to play d4 because that gives away, weakens your pawn structure. Yeah, bishop's better on c8 than b7. b7, it's, I play bishop b7, so it's bad. Bishop c8, now that's a bishop. That's a woman. That's a tree. Okay.
Yeah.
So she moved her queen. Okay, queen there. And I play queen g6. But the engine wants me to play knight g4, but this is good. She didn't want to trade queens, so she retreated. And I infiltrated with my queen. Yeah, I like the end game because now the reason I wanted to trade queens, this king is over here, which is bad for the end game. And it activates my rook, and I have this nice center wedge. So I like the ending for me. So she didn't like the ending. She got lift for her king. Knight g4 is good. Now my rook can get out in the style of Bonarici because he wanted to play knight g4 earlier to get the rook out. Queen e7, scary. Yeah, I thought a long time here. Yeah, because when I get scared, that's when I get shot. And way to avoid getting shot is to be like little Fonzarellis. And what's Fonzie?
Cool.
Correctamundo.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I play queen d6, trade queens again. And she said no. Queen g5, putting pressure here. Bishop f5, getting my bishop to a good square. Queen d2. Wow, she made a lot of queen moves. The engine actually likes queen d2. Says that's the best move. And I played knight e5. I want to play knight c4. Bishop e2. d4 recommended by you. Yeah, now it's hard for her knight to go anywhere good. Now my queen is defended by my rook. So I'm threatening to take this. And you can see I'm going forward and she's going back. I'm increasing my advantage using my center. So she pinned it. And I played c5. Rook f1. Rook f6. Finally, my king position looks normal. Now if you just walked by my game, you would assume that I castled. Mm-hmm. But now black's position looks pretty good. Yeah. Now, once upon a time, Jasmine told me she was falling in love. But now, she's only...
Falling apart?
Yeah, nothing she can do. Yeah, the engine says that she's losing now just because I'm, like, pressing forward. And she's like, ah... And mainly it's because I have that center. That center finally got going. The d5, c6 pawns. She traded off my weak e pawn for her f pawn, which didn't help her. And then I got to play d4, c5, knight e5, bishop f5. And obviously I have the advantage now.
So what happens if they just took your pawn? Is it protected? I don't see it somewhere.
Which pawn?
h5.
Bishop takes h5. Put it in h.
I don't know why they would go pawn grab.
And then I go knight c4 because their bishop isn't
okay.
defending that anymore. Yeah. See, the thing is, I can take this at sometimes, but now I'm threatening actually to take the knight also because my queen's defended. Mm-hmm. The engine gives this. Now, if the queen moves away, which you would agree, I have a couple good moves, but the obvious one's just knight e3 forking her rooks. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she needs the bishop on e2 to stop knight c4.
Yeah, I see that.
So she played knight a2, finally saving her knight. I played bishop g4. The engine likes knight g4 better. But I wanted to trade bishops so my knight could get to e3. I didn't want to trade my knight. I wanted my knight to stay on the board. Knight c1. Yeah, here I play king h8, just like she played king a1. I wanted to get off this diagonal so there wouldn't be any checks on the diagonal. And king safer on h8. Engine doesn't like king h8. Rook takes, rook takes. Engine likes that. Doesn't like queen e1. Hates that move. Queen d5, inching forward. Doesn't like bishop takes g4. Now my knight can come to e3 later. And she played c3. And did we get to time control yet? Yeah, that was move 41. Yeah. So the idea is I can't play d3 because, it's hanging. And I can't take. And I can't play knight e3 because she takes it. Because my d pawn's pinned.
Oh, yeah, pinned.
So I played rook e6. Because then I can play knight e3. Mm-hmm. Hooray for Ben. And I did. Now here, I thought during the game, I was like, yeah, this is nice for black. I'm better, and I've been outplaying her. My position's improved, and hopefully I'll win. And the engine just says white resigns. The engine's like black's +4. I haven't won any material. But the engine really likes black. Okay, she played rook d2. Because if she moves her rook like to the side here, then I push my pawn. And then I played knight here, forking her queen and rook. What's the only move she can make so I don't take one of them?
Queen b8.
And she did. King h7. Now she played rook e2, which loses immediately. And I was like, well, she just fell apart in a position where she was a little worse. But it says I'm +5 here. So I was more winning here than I thought. I expected rook d1 or rook d3. Then knight goes back to e3. And here's the problem with rook d3, which I don't think I noticed during the game. I have a really strong move here. It's explosive too.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, then
Yeah, I didn't know after
That's just telling me
c4
the
attacking
answer.
the rook. If she takes, I have this check.
yeah.
Yeah, but if she doesn't take, I'm going to play d3. Then it's getting a little silly. So she played rook e2, which just loses out of hand. Now I just queen my because her knight and her rook were blocking my d pawn, but not anymore. And what would Joel Benjamin say? He's the only one who says this.
I don't know.
When he promotes a pawn, he says it's a girl.
Oh.
Then she attacked my queen, and I kept pushing my pawn. Hooray for Ben. And then she resigned here. Actually, I think she went here, and no, she did resign. Because I remember during the game, I hadn't decided whether to take this or play knight d2. And then she resigned, so I didn't have to make a decision. I probably would have taken the knight because that's simpler. This threatens unstoppable mate. So then she has to play knight f6 check and try to perp me. But I don't want to calculate that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just play queen takes knight check. But she resigned here. So that was one of my better games. I played an opening the engine doesn't like, so I said I was worse. And I slowly, throughout the game, outplayed her. But the opening has some advantage that you get a position that's not easy to play, that's asymmetrical, that puts pressure on the opponent, makes it difficult to play well. So even though the engine doesn't like my game, that's because the engine plays really well. But it makes it hard for the opponent to play, as you can see. So opening, not good. I need to play a better opening, but I won, anyway.
Hey, Diddy, how's it going?